The Copa America drawing was today, as the USA is set to host this massive tournament in anticipation and in build-up to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We have the Copa America, baby. The Copa America is here, and the draw has finally been completed. We have all 4 groups set. And now I don't want to do a deep dive of these groups. I want to say that for when the tournament comes and we produce our deep dive content that we're so well known for. But I do kind of just want to quickly react surface level to each single one of these groups. So to start, let's talk about Group A, which has Argentina, Peru, Chile, and then either Canada or Trinidad and Tobago.
I really can't write this shit up, bro. Argentina once again get the easiest fucking group in a major tournament, man. I mean, Chile and Peru are in their darkest times.
Control yourself, brother. We're about to go there. We're about to go down there. Control yourself, brother. Control yourself.
Dark period for both of those teams. Yeah. Those are easy wins for Argentina. And then what is it?
Then either Canada or Trinidad and Tobago.
Canada's
really good teams, man. It's a really good Trinidad team, bro. Maybe that evens it out.
What's crazy, Trinidad might be Canada. I don't trust this Canadian team whatsoever. If Trinidad get there, then congratulations. It'll be 90 minutes of 2 blocks of 5. But that's what's going to happen even if they play Canada, because Canada cannot figure themselves out right now. For me, easiest group in the Copa America by far.
Yeah, and look, I've never once, said that there's any sort of conspiracy in the World Cup for Argentina specifically. I've always given them the credit for winning that tournament. I've never been one of those people. All I'm saying is that this is like the draw equivalent of penalty for Argentina, which was such a famous slogan throughout the World Cup. Yeah. This is like the draw equivalent, where they just got handed a very easy title. I'm not saying it was deliberate. I'm not saying it's conspiracy or anything crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm just saying, damn, they got a lucky-ass draw here with yet another good draw that doesn't even challenge them one bit. I think they're going to leave this group feeling super confident with 3 straight victories. Anything else is a disappointment.
Yep.
Group B contains my beautiful Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica.
I think this is going to be a really fun one. I mean, Jamaica, I hope they show up. That's literally all I can say. If they do, they'll make it a little bit trickier. I think Venezuela have been playing really good right now, and they usually actually show up in Copa America. So I think Venezuela will make this group really fun. As for Ecuador, I think they're on the rise. They're trying to do something special, especially what they built in the 2022 cycle with their new coach and all of their young players. I think Ecuador is going to be really exciting to watch. And Mexico here, basically having home advantage at every stadium they play at, have a really good opportunity to perform in what is a tricky but doable group, I'd say.
Yeah, with groups like these, I actually, from an entertainment point of view, prefer a group like this to what many people call like a group of death, for example. I think group of deaths can be overrated sometimes. It might not live up to that billing, whereas a competitive group where there's a genuine argument that any of these 4 teams could somehow find a way to qualify out of it, that to me is the best setup for what is going to be a really entertaining group stage. Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, Jamaica, if any of these teams feel like qualifying, they genuinely have a shot at doing it, man, because what I like so much is that every single matchup, whether it's Mexico, Venezuela, Ecuador, Jamaica, they all have some sort of competitiveness to them. There's not a single one that you just know outright, oh, they're going to win or this team is going to dominate the other. It's so close overall that I just think it's going to be super entertaining, but also really fucking stressful from a Mexico perspective, because every single game, in my opinion, is going to be very tight unless we just dominate Jamaica the way we did in the Gold Cup. And then we have Group C.
Group C.
Which is being built as the group of death. Yeah. Rightfully so.
I think rightfully so. I would say it is the most difficult group here.
With the United States.
Best team in CONCACAF.
Edit that out. Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia.
Yeah.
Your reaction?
Yeah, Bolivia. Okay, we can hopefully chalk those guys out. They tend to not really show up for Copa Americas or World Cup qualifiers, so I'll go ahead and say the same thing here. But Uruguay, one of the best teams in CONMEBOL for sure, right underneath Argentina and Brazil, although I do think the United States can take them. Yeah. It's going to be a very tight match. I do think we can take them. And for Panama, I'd say the second most informed team in CONCACAF. Maybe not the second best, but informed. They've been playing so well over the last 8 months. I'm a little frustrated that they got drawn this group because I was hoping Panama would have a really good chance here. But if I'm going based off of who I think would go through just reaction-wise, I would say the USA and Uruguay. But, bro, Panama have a crazy chance here to do something crazy. and at the expense of
the
either
thing.
the USA
That's the
or
thing.
Uruguay.
That's the thing.
And something's going to have to give. And it might be Panama giving, or it might be Uruguay or USA. Who knows? But this group could get really crazy.
Yeah, starting with Bolivia, the highest elevation I'm seeing for them is when they play at AT&T Stadium. That's the highest.
That's it.
That's going to be against United States because elsewhere they're playing at MetLife and then Orlando. I don't know if those have higher elevations than AT&T Stadium, but for the most part, I think that will be the best shot of them getting any single point in this match against the USA in Dallas. For Panama, man, this is so harsh.
It's harsh.
Especially given the way they qualified into Copa America, just completely dominating Costa Rica in the quarterfinal that we just saw. They're the team that deserved to be in that first pot for CONCACAF, representing them alongside the United States and not Mexico. But Mexico just got lucky with that. I guess that selection that gave them that advantage. So Panama gets thrown into this group where they're going to have to work so hard to get out. The thing is, if they put in that work, if they show the way that we've been seeing them, if they can continue the pace that they are at, I think they get out. I don't know how, but I think they get out of this group. I really do.
Yeah, it's one of those.
That's all I'll say about that.
It's one of those where you say all three teams get out. You just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just can't pick two.
Absolutely.
It sucks. I mean, you can, but I again, it's just 3 games, and especially since Panama play Uruguay first, maybe they can get it out of the way, get a draw, and if they can get anything against Uruguay, immediately the group becomes very interesting because then we'll see a desperate Panama or a desperate Uruguay play against a United States, and that might fall to the United States in some regard. This group could get really, really crazy, or it just might be really straightforward if Panama get nervous.
That too, but the first game will be in Miami when they face off against Uruguay. That's a place that's packed with Panamanians, so anything positive there could help them a lot. And as for Uruguay, the next team up, they're the most informed South American team right now.
Yeah.
Right now, because Argentina lost a match, I believe, to Uruguay, and then Brazil has lost a number of matches consecutively. Uruguay is the best team in South America right now. Obviously, this tournament's still half a year away. I think it's very notable what Marcelo Bielsa is doing right now with this Uruguayan squad, implementing his philosophy, his tactics, and his strategy into this Uruguayan team that is completely just absorbed his knowledge and applied it onto the pitch and is playing some wonderful football. They're a threat, bro. They're a threat not just to get out of this group, but to win the title, honestly, if they can continue playing at this level. And as for the USA, bro, we've talked about it so many times on this podcast, what they are capable of, the generation that they're in right now, the best USA crop of talent that we've ever seen get put together. I want to see them show up. I want to see them put on an absolute show that garners the attention of the rest of the Americans here in the United States and makes them want to watch the 2026 World Cup. This is where that journey starts. This is the biggest test for Greg Berhalter. And man, it's a hell of a test, bro. It's a hell of a test. But if they pass it, we could see them embark on a very, very special run, getting out of the group of death, something that they're no strangers to because they've done it in the past in bigger tournaments.
That's the thing is, we all ask for a test for the United States because that's the only way that they set themselves up to have a very successful 2026 World Cup. And holy shit, did we really get the test, man.
Yeah.
We really got it here. We got what we asked for. And the more that I think about it, actually, the more happy I am we got this group. I'd rather we go through Uruguay and a feisty Panama and be really prepared for a hell of a quarterfinal and semifinal, hopefully. I'd rather that. And because if we can get out of this group, then I know that we're at least prepared and we're ready for anything. So I relish this opportunity. Let's fucking go USA.
And lastly, Group D contains Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay, and then either Honduras or Costa Rica.
Yeah, I think this is actually kind of a fun group. Once again, it's kind of like Mexico's group, except Brazil, obviously, maybe a tier higher than any team in Mexico's group for sure. But the rest of it, honestly, I'd say is pretty open for second spot, man. Paraguay could show up. I think they just really haven't found their form, but maybe they show up for just this one tournament for the Copa America and build towards a more successful 2026 campaign. Honduras showed against Mexico that they can play. They can truly play, and this will be their perfect opportunity. If they could beat Costa Rica to build themselves, do what Jamaica's trying to do, get some consistency going. This would be the perfect opportunity, bro. Like Honduras, honestly, going into the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Nations League, we're not expected to be here. But now they have a really good opportunity to get an insane dress rehearsal for the rest of their World Cup qualifying campaign. They need to beat Costa Rica, and I think they can have a decent try here in this group. And as for Colombia, well, they're just like Uruguay, are in very good form, and honestly, I think could actually rival Brazil's top spot.
Damn, that's crazy, man. But man, I just wonder which Brazilian team will get. That's the thing. You just never know with Brazil. If they show up playing the way that they have so far, this could be one of the most dramatic Brazilian performances we see at a major tournament, because that's just not something they do. They don't struggle in these tournaments, at least in those early stages. It doesn't happen until the quarterfinals, the semifinals, or even the final. Brazil is a championship contending squad. If they do anything that goes against that, it'll be an absolute shock, and I think it'd just be crazy to see that. Or on the other hand, we just might see a version of Brazil that is historic. The reason that they are the most decorated side in this tournament show up and put on an absolute show. Colombia, I think, is a dark horse in this tournament, because Uruguay it's apparent that they're good now. They've proven it time and time again now in the World Cup qualifiers, and I think it's obvious that they're a top 4 team. Colombia, I think, is right on the fringe. They're like a 5th or 6th team in the Americas right now, but we might see them put on an absolute show, start dancing the way they did in 2014, and rise to the top, getting out of this really strong group, and then going on to make a really good run. But why we don't know yet. I really don't think we know yet. Julio Enciso has been out the entire World Cup qualifying campaign, and I'm not saying his impact would completely change Paraguay, but I think that's an important player that starts for them every single game. If he gets back into form, if he gets healthy again by that point, what impact can he have? And then lastly, Honduras or Costa Rica. You spoke about Honduras. I'll highlight Costa Rica then, because Costa Rica's known. Costa Rica's known for getting into these tournaments when they don't deserve to, bro.
I know,
3 straight World Cup appearances when I thought they only should have qualified for one of them, bro. That's crazy. As one of the top 32 teams in the world back to back times, I'm just saying, I'm not going to rule out the idea of them getting through on a one-off game against Honduras happening in March, bro. I'm just saying, give them some credit, because they could find themselves in this tournament once again.
Absolutely. But Honduras, the way they played, the players that they have, if they lose to Costa Rica, then that's on Honduras, man. I wouldn't want them in this tournament if they lose to this Costa Rica.
I agree. I agree. I want Honduras. I'm with you there. I want Honduras, but you just never know with Costa Rica, bro.
Yeah, you really don't, especially against a Central American rival. Maybe they get a little bit of, they put a little pride into it, They try to really get into it. But, one thing that I noticed watching the draw, dude, is I like CONCACAF's involvement in the Copa America more so than just CONMEBOL, because it adds the wild card. Dude, I'm actually even excited about Mexico, even though they've been playing so inconsistently lately. I'm excited to see what they can do on the biggest American stage, North and South America together. I think it just serves for a better tournament, a more exciting one. I'd be down to do this exact same thing, but down in South America. We don't always have to do it here when we involve CONCACAF teams. I wonder if CONMEBOL is even at all interested in something like that, because, the last Copa America, it was 2 groups of 5. That's weird. Sucked.
Yeah.
It was just like, all right, we know who's going through out of these 2 huge ass groups. We know who's going to finish at the bottom, but there's true uncertainty in some fashion in every single group. That's so much more exciting. And so, the CONCACAF involvement here, especially with how good the USA is doing and how Panama and the wild card Mexico could be, I just think it adds for way more entertainment and chaos.
I just that constant threat of, what if a CONCACAF team wins the title? That little sliver of hope, that little thread it poses, I think just adds a layer to this tournament that can make anybody just interested right off the bat. CONMEBOL has won this tournament time and time again because it is their regional tournament. It is what they celebrate. It is what they do. They involve CONCACAF, and they've done it in the past, and the deepest CONCACAF has ever gone, I think, is to the semifinals, perhaps maybe a finals appearance by Mexico, I think, at one point. But regardless, CONCACAF has never been able to take advantage of that invitation so far. But the fact that could become more a possibility as the years progress and these CONCACAF teams get better over time, I like that, man. I really do. And just the idea of one day seeing a CONCACAF team lift up a CONMEBOL specific trophy, I think it would be crazy scenes, man. Crazy scenes. Just maybe not good for the economy of these South American sides, and just crazy scenes and reactions all across the world seeing a CONCACAF team win this trophy. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, though, it is a crazy possibility.
Gives me goosebumps, man. Yeah. Imagine any CONCACAF team. That's my dream.
Yeah.
Like, that is a true dream to lift the Copa America as a CONCACAF side. That would be nuts. And for either USA or Mexico to be the first to do it, it means so much, bro.
Yeah, so we're not going to get into, the rest of our predictions here or, seeing out this whole tournament. I want to wait till when the tournament arrives, and then in the build up to that tournament, really posting our previews, posting our ideas as we just do our deepest research we can possible in anticipation to what is going to be personally my preference, my favorite summer tournament in the international stage.